What's up, fam? It's been a while.
Welcome back. Look who decided to come home.
Who decided to come home?
You.
I've been...
You live here now.
I do live here.
How about that?
All right. So let's just throw this out there, fans. You know, I say fans for the two people that are listening right now. Thank you for your loyalty and listenership.
I will say this, though. We do joke around about that a lot, but however many people are listening, we do appreciate you listening. And
yes.
We don't mean to try to minimize your role in this or anything. That's more of a self-deprecating joke than a shot at our audience, just in case anybody was wondering about that.
Also, if you're listening to me, you're fabulous. So there's that. We've been busy, folks. There have been two hurricanes there's actually technically been 3 hurricanes that have hit in our area this hurricane season. 2 pretty big ones. Our house was more impacted by Helene, which was towards the end of September. It just feels like this has been like one very, very long drawn out hurricane season, and we're like not even close to being done with it. So forgive us for our lack of recording and uploading, but we're here today because we just watched a movie that was so bad that I cannot get back that time in my life.
All right, it wasn't that bad.
It was so bad.
All right, well, we're going to get into it.
Okay, so first of all, I think that Travis is a little biased because it was written and directed by Anthony Perkins' son, and we all know, based on the origination of this podcast, that Travis loves him some Anthony Perkins. But This kid is fucked up.
Better put some respect on the Perkins name.
Anyway, this guy is messed up in the head. Sorry I said the F word. I should have, prefaced that before I said it. But oof, it was... Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the movie that we are going to be discussing in this episode is called Longlegs. And it was released in July of this year. It had a budget of around $10 million. And it grossed $108 million worldwide, so it looks like it was a financial success. I believe this is kind of more of an independent film, you'd probably call it.
And we did read that it is the most successful independent film of the year, and the studio Neon that produced it, their most successful film that they have ever had domestically.
It does have a few bigger names, Nicolas Cage, Blair Underwood. Those were the 2 that I recognized. I didn't really... I think a lot of the actors in this movie and actresses are a little lesser known, because of the nature of it being an independent film and whatnot. Or either that, or maybe I'm just incredibly ignorant. That's also possible, that maybe they've been in a whole bunch of stuff and I'm just haven't seen it. I don't know. But the other folks in this movie, if I could pronounce their names, I believe it's Micah Monroe. Micah? I don't know. Kiernan Shipka, Alicia Witt, Lauren Akala, Michelle Choi Lee. I hope that's how you say their names.
Also, if you were in this movie and we said your name wrong, please let us know.
Let us know, yes. I believe I'm not sure if this movie is still in theaters or not. It came out in July. I don't think it is. But I thought I also read somewhere that they might be bringing it back.
Oh, for
Halloween. It's like spooky season and all that, And probably because it's done so well, from what I've been able to see numbers-wise. So it might be in a theater near you again very soon. If you don't want to go check it out in a theater... it is available on digital right now. It is
to rent
and buy. So yeah. I don't see it on any streaming platforms yet where it would be like included in a membership. But you can rent it on Amazon or, wherever else you consume digital content like that. And yeah, so it was written and directed by Osgood Perkins, who is Anthony Perkins' son. He actually played a young Norman Bates in Psycho 3, which was directed by Anthony Perkins.
Fabulous.
Anyways, that's actually the way that I heard of this movie was I had seen that he had directed it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Maybe I'll check that out, see what it's about, you know. And I didn't really even know who was in the movie or what it was about or anything. I just saw that he had directed it, and it kind of piqued my interest. So I wanted to check it out. And then I saw that it was available on digital, and I said, hey, it's October. Let's start watching some scary movies. Let's check this one out. It's pretty recent. Let's see what's going on here. And then I saw that Nicolas Cage was in it, and like we said a few episodes back, sometimes we like to watch Nicolas Cage movies. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe it's good. I don't know. So anyway, so we watched it.
Here's what I'll say for Nicolas Cage. He sure does get into character.
Yep.
He goes all in.
So the plot summary of this movie, here's what I'm going to try to start doing things a little differently in the structure of the show. I decided that maybe we've already been doing this, but just to be sure, I think what we're going to do is we're going to give plot summaries and then tell you about the spoiler alerts, so you can decide if you want to hang out and hear the spoilers or if you want to watch it first and come back. So the plot summary of this film is that it's about an FBI agent named Lee Harker, and she is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer, and now she must stop him before he strikes again. So anyway, if that piques your interest and you would rather go see the film first instead of hearing us talk about it, go do that. Otherwise, as always, this episode will contain spoilers. Spoiler alert, we are going to talk about this film as if you've already seen it, because we've already seen it and we don't want to hide anything. We're trying to give our honest opinion about it. So, like I said, if you want to know what happens, go ahead and keep listening. If you don't want to know what happens first, go watch the movie and then come back and listen. That being said, we're going to get right into it. So,
okay, fair enough. I don't have nice things to say. Number one.
Well, hold on. Why don't have anything nice to say? So how about should we do the things that we liked about this movie first and then the things we didn't like, or you don't have anything that you liked about it?
You want me to just keep my mouth shut?
You don't have any any positive observations about the movie at all?
I mean, like I said, Nicolas Cage is all in.
All right. Well, I guess
let me say this. I want to preface this by saying this is not a style of movie that I'm going to enjoy, whether it's a good one or not. However, we're currently watching the show Grotesquerie on FX. And that is a very, I don't know what the right word is, like explicit show with murders and horror and all of those things that I do not like, but I am currently very invested in that show.
Oh, yeah. I'm very invested because Travis Kelce's in it, and it's
First
so
of all,
good.
Stop it.
But otherwise, I hate that stuff, but this one's different.
Okay, Travis Kelce is not even in it that much.
That's my whole point.
Okay.
That's the whole reason you're watching it, and he's not even in it.
All right, to begin with, I'm not going to lie to you. Of course it is. I have to support Travis Kelce in his ventures.
Oh,
because
my only regret is there isn't a show where we watch Taylor Swift watch the show.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe that would be better.
But
that makes football so much better. Why not this?
We watched the first episode with Travis's brother and his wife at their house after the first of these hurricanes when we had no power. And I quickly wanted to know what was going to happen next. Even though there was really gross stuff, like Grotesquerie, the name ain't wrong, I feel very, like, invested in it, and, like, I want to know what's going to happen next. And I can kind of push aside some of the, like, grosser stuff. With this, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense.
With this one, there wasn't anybody named Travis Kelce in it, so I wasn't willing to suspend my disbelief.
Can we please, for just a second, just calm down, okay? I don't know why you gotta be hating on Travis Kelce. I feel like you guys would be friends. I feel like you and Travis and Jason and Charlie would be like buddies.
How do you know we're not already buddies?
Well, if you are, you better give me some tickets to the Miami
Maybe I'm just
show.
giving them a hard time. That's what friends do, right?
Yeah,
you mess with your friends.
Anyway, so we went
Maybe Travis isn't even his real name, and he adopted it as a tribute to me, like Travis Barker did. # complete lies.
Okay. But anyway, my point is that, like, there was no point. For me, this was just, like, gross and icky, and it never got to the point, and the point didn't really make sense. And, like, there were a lot of holes in it. Like, what happened at the beginning was never quite explained, and I don't know. It was just not for me.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and we'll start with the things we liked, or the things I liked, I guess. And then we'll talk about things we didn't like. To be fair, there was a lot of stuff I didn't like about it, too. I'm not saying this movie was like the greatest movie I ever saw or anything. It had some good points. It had some bad points. I don't think I probably wouldn't watch it again. I don't know. Anyway, here's what happens, right? So, like, it starts out, it's kind of like in the style of like a 70s horror film kind of style, and it takes place in the 70s when it starts out, so it makes sense. And it shows this little girl. She's kind of hanging out outside of her house in the middle of the winter. This freaking
on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, this freaking weirdo guy comes up and starts talking to her, and then they cut to like present day, and
just to be forthcoming with this weirdo guy, he's got like this long, dirty, disheveled blonde hair, like this caked on white face paint makeup. So not really sure if maybe the character is transgendered. That's never really addressed ever.
Yeah, he does look kind of like a woman.
Yeah.
And I think like he's supposed to be unsettling, and he is. Mm-hmm. And that's Nicolas Cage's character. That's Longlegs. He's just this crazy guy that's going around doing some not good stuff to folks. And anyway, so then they cut to this all these years later. Now the FBI is kind of on his trail, and they're canvassing neighborhoods trying to find him. They go to this one house. Agent Harker says, "Oh, he's in this house. I know it." Her partner says, "No, he's not, but I'll go check it out." He knocks on the door. Guy opens the door and shoots him dead, which I thought was kind of like interesting for a film. Kind of grabs your attention, like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that to happen, And she goes through the apartment, and it looks like the inside of like a Dexter kill room or something. And you're like, oh wow, this right off the bat, it's getting crazy. I feel like it really hooked you in, like a episode of Dexter or Law and Order or something like that. We were like, I want to see what happens. And most of the film was kind of like that, which I thought was good. I liked that about it. And I even kind of like saw some of the things before they happened where I said, you know what? I'll bet you that little girl from the beginning is this agent now. And it turns out I was right about that. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was pretty good. Like the plot line of the movie and everything. You were kind of like, what's going to happen next? Or how is this person involved? Or all of these kind of things. And then they finally catch the guy, and then he like just bashes his face in until he dies, and it's just like, okay, well, I guess that's it then. He's dead. But then like it gets even weirder than that, because it's like so like it's revealed in the end that like, well, I guess now we're going to get to the stuff that we didn't like. Because that's all the stuff I thought was like halfway decent about this movie.
Yeah.
So I guess we can go through like point by point. The thing I was like, you've already kind of said, but like, I don't understand. Like, it seemed to me like the death of her original partner, where that guy opened the door and killed him, and she went in and found him and presumably arrested him or whatever. Like, they never address it again.
But that wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
It was a totally different
But
guy.
you're supposed to kind of wonder, like,
Yeah.
okay, is this the guy, or like, is this a completely, like, I mean, clearly that guy was something, or like, I even kind of wonder, like, is this guy maybe like another victim that like this person left
That's
there,
what I'm
so that
thinking
the
now.
so the FBI thought he was like a decoy, or thought not thought he was a decoy, but thought he was the guy, while the real guy escapes. But they never really addressed it. They never followed it up.
Yeah, it was as if like that part just like didn't even happen. They just like moved on.
Yeah, it just seems like a wasted opportunity to me, or like or
no
like,
tie-in, no tie back.
Like why did you even set all that up if you weren't gonna? There's no payoff.
So this weird dude, Longlegs, he is like a Satan worshiper, but he also makes these dolls, these creepy dolls that are somehow like satanic, and
they're like possessed by the devil.
Possessed by the devil and force. So he delivers these dolls to these families of these girls on their birthdays. On the 14th, which is really creepy because that's our daughter's birthday.
And tomorrow is the 14th.
And tomorrow is her 10th birthday on the 14th. But so he delivers these dolls, and then the dolls take possession of the father and make the father kill the whole family and then kill himself.
Good thing we didn't watch it with her. Not that we would have, but
No, God.
Especially would have been.
Yeah, dolls are already creepy as hell. But then it turns out that this girl Lee's mother went into this like deal with this devil worshipping man.
Yeah, because
so that
in the beginning,
kill her.
in the beginning of the movie, he was bringing a doll to her.
Yes.
And yeah, and then like you said, the mom went out and said, "Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing?" And then he tried to pull the same stuff he did on the other people, where he was
right
going to kill them, or I guess maybe he was going to try to get the mom to kill both. I don't know. But yeah, she made this deal where she will help him carry out this plan of killing people by giving them these dolls that are possessed by the devil.
And she dresses like a nun.
Right.
As though she's...
And she tells them the dolls are from the church.
Mm-hmm.
And she's supposed to just make sure that the devil can get in their house and, wreak havoc, I guess. And that's another one of those things, just like, all right, so how did the devil get in this doll? Like, does Nicolas Cage have some kind of like superpowers that he can summon the devil, or which is another one of those things like, all right, whatever, I'll suspend disbelief. Maybe just somehow the devil showed up and picked Nicolas Cage as a medium for killing people. Whatever, fine. But like the thing that I really didn't get at the end was like she made this deal and she did this alongside Longlegs for so many years. And she's saying how, the only reason that she did it was to keep her daughter safe, and she didn't want to do it, or at least I got the impression that she didn't want to do it. I don't know if she explicitly said she didn't want to do it, but I feel like it was at least kind of implied that it wasn't her intention. She was only doing it because she had to keep her daughter safe.
Right. But
then Nicolas Cage, or Longlegs, kills himself. And so I'm like, okay, so the guy's dead. So you don't have to do it anymore, because like he's obviously not going to kill your daughter now because he's dead.
Right.
And like then there was the doll of
Lee.
What's
Lee's
her
doll.
name? Lee.
Yeah.
There was Lee's doll, right? And the mom, like for some reason, the mom killed Lee's partner. Which I'm just also like, why? Because you don't even know who this person is, and you're supposed to be this like righteous lady that didn't want to kill anyone, but you just shot this lady in the face for no reason, and then like you found your daughter found you later, and then you shot her doll, and you see like the smoke leave the daughter's head and the doll's head, and she's like, "You're free now." I'm like, okay, but then you're like, "I'm gonna bring this doll to your boss's daughter So they can all die. I'm like, but why? I don't understand why. Like, did the devil possess her? So maybe that happened and I missed it. I don't know.
I don't know.
But maybe something like that happened and I just didn't catch it. But from what I could see, I'm like, I don't understand why you would be doing this. And then it's like, at the end, she kills her mom and she kills her boss who was killing his wife because the devil was making him do it. And it's like, I feel like the movie overall, I feel like if they would have maybe explained some of those things better, or maybe even like reworked some of those parts of the plot, could have been a lot better of a movie. But it just sort of feels like, I don't know what the story is. I don't know if that, like, if they decided that that's the way they wanted it to be, or if it was one of those things of like, we only had so much time to write this script and this is as good as it's going to get, or what happened. But it just like seems kind of lazy to me.
Yeah.
Like some things don't add up and whatever. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I don't know. I didn't write it, but.
So she runs out of bullets at the end and she can't kill the doll of the boss's daughter. So what does that mean? Does that mean that like there's still a chance that it could now possess her?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to think that deep? Is it not that deep?
Yeah. Is there going to be a sequel? It's kind of a little open-ended,
no.
It's hard to say. But yeah, I really kind of just at the end of the movie was kind of like, what the heck just happened? And I mean, I think you're probably supposed to have that reaction to a degree, but I'm just like, there's so many plot holes here that I feel like don't necessarily have to be plot holes. It's like you just made this movie make no sense on purpose, but like, why?
Do you think maybe he thought it was scarier that way?
I guess.
It wasn't scary. Like, I wasn't scared.
Yeah, to me it was just like...
To me it was just
I feel like you could have just wrapped this up a lot neater than you did.
It was weird and it was gory.
It just seemed kind of like half-baked and unfinished.
Yeah.
Like, it's like maybe if you would have like kept going and developed some of these things a little better and come up with a better resolution for some of these storylines, I feel like it could have been a way better movie than it was. So, I don't know. I mean, I didn't think the movie was like a complete waste of time or totally terrible, but it definitely wasn't as good as it could have been.
It makes me wonder, do you think that like Osgood Perkins feels this pressure to make a classic horror movie because of the legacy of his father? And if so, this ain't it, buddy.
It's possible. I mean, who knows? I know that he's written and directed some other movies.
Okay.
I haven't seen them, so maybe this is just his style. This is the first time that I've seen a movie that he's written and directed. So I don't know.
That's fair.
But I think my recommendation would be, I wouldn't say skip the movie.
Don't pay for it.
But I wouldn't, I would definitely like you need to have a certain set of expectations going into it, If
it comes across your streaming platforms and it's available for you to stream and you have some time on your hands that you won't mind never getting back, sure.
Check it out. Maybe it'll be your thing. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of half-baked and unfinished.
Also, if you've seen the movie and you disagree with what we're saying and you have a different take on the film or a different perspective on why things were done the way that they were done, we'd love to engage with you on our social media platforms. We're not going to argue because we don't do that. We're grown-ups. But we would love to hear your point of view.
Life in Pictures podcast on Facebook and at Life in Pics pod everywhere else.
Yes. And we thank you for your grace as we have been a little bit MIA, but we are trying to get back into the swing of things. Maybe we'll have some more spooky episodes come out before the end of the month.
I think we actually have another spooky film we could talk about right here, right now.
We do.
We do. And this was a movie that people have been waiting for since 1988.
Oh.
I think it was 88. I don't know, the 80s sometime. Don't say it 3 times.
Oh.
What's the name of this movie?
BeetleJuice.
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 The
Yes.
second one.
Yes, we did see that movie. We saw it in the theater with our kiddos, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really a good sequel. Quite funny. Actually think it might have been funnier than the original. Like, I think the original was a little bit darker, and this one really had a lot more geared towards kids.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I thought it was really funny and well worth the 2 hours we spent in the theater watching it.
I thought it was good. I mean, I remember we took the kids to see the original one in the theater. Obviously not when it first came out, but like they had re-released it a few years ago, and we took them to see it at Universal, actually, on City Walk. And then we took them to the parks, and they had a Halloween Horror Nights tribute store that had a whole Beetlejuice kind of theme to it, which was pretty cool to go walk through, because some of the rooms of that store were basically the film sets.
Yes.
Or they were, recreations of the film sets.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool to kind of walk through right after we had just seen the movie in the theater. And so that was a few years ago, and now they've released the sequel, all these years later, 20-something years later, to the original one, and it was pretty good. The plot line of that movie is, so Lydia's dad he was out on some bird watching expedition, and he got in a plane crash, and then he got his head bit off by a shark, and so now they have to go have a funeral for him, and Lydia is now this talk show host about all of these like occult kind of paranormal type things. It's almost like maybe they're still on, but you used to see these shows pop up every once in a while, like where they'd have a psychic host, and they'd talk about people's dead relatives or something like that. Right. So it's kind of like that sort of a show. And her daughter is Jenna Ortega. I forget what her character's name is. I can't remember. But anyway, she's kind of away at school, and she kind of has this, this rebellious attitude of like, I don't want to be associated with my family or my mom and whatever. And so they have to get her to come back home to go to this funeral. And, while she's there, they end up summoning BeetleJuice again because...
So she meets this guy. Turns out she can see ghosts. This guy is dead, and he's trying to swap her life for his. So Lydia has to get Beetlejuice to help her, and she agrees to marry Beetlejuice so that he can, be alive again if he helps rescue her daughter. In the meantime, they end up finding the daughter's dad, so Lydia's husband, who had passed away. And they had some unfinished business and questions about his death. Catherine O'Hara's in it. It is funny. Who is the other one? Justin Theroux is in it. Who else? The one that's trying to kill Beetlejuice, the lady. So there's he was married to this woman, and like she was a soul sucker and wanted to kill or suck out his soul, and that's why he died and escaped and all of these things. Anyway, it's really great. Have yourself a watch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. The plot was good. It wasn't too long. That was one of the things the kids said. Like, a lot of times these sequel movies can be like really, really long to like take a long time to get to the point. And it wasn't like that with this movie. Like it kept moving.
It was nice to see Michael Keaton back. Yeah, again.
Michael Keaton did a great job.
Catherine O'Hara was funny in it.
Winona Ryder. Jenna Ortega is like, that is just like the perfect type of character for her.
It's kind of similar to Wednesday. like the
Yeah,
character,
yeah.
you know. So
Well, the thing is, I feel like Wednesday and Lydia are very similar characters.
right.
And so for her to play Lydia's daughter, it just makes a lot of sense.
I also enjoy just like watching some of these movies that were popular when we were kids and they come back now and you can kind of share that with your kids. Like we showed Olivia the Beetlejuice cartoon. Because I was like, I remember when this movie came out before, they had the movie, which was probably a little more oriented towards adults.
Right.
But then they had this cartoon series that was definitely for kids.
Yeah, and it was on every day in our house. My brother watched it.
Yeah, and so I said, oh, you know what? You would probably really enjoy this. And we found it. It's streaming on, I don't even know where. You can find it on the Fire Stick.
Is it like Tubi?
Like Tubi or one of those with the free episodes. But yeah, it was really cool that you could do that. And just seeing, you know, like all of the different merchandise and stuff. And, you know, like we were talking about last time, I think we were talking about the popcorn buckets and everything. And it's the same sort of deal with this, where they had like a sandworm bucket and a gravestone bucket and a bunch of other stuff. And they, you know, like people are going crazy over them. And it was just really cool to kind of see it all come back. And I also thought it was kind of weird the way that they wrote her dad out of the script, because the actor that plays her dad in the movie, I think his name is Jeffrey Jones. It's Jeffrey something, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, you know, he was a pretty big actor in the 80s. Like he was the principal in Ferris Bueller. He was Dr. Jennings and Howard the Duck. You know, he was obviously the dad in BeetleJuice.
Gotcha.
You know, other stuff too. And apparently he got into some trouble not too long ago for, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I think it involved minors in some capacity. It's definitely was something that was like bad enough that they didn't want him in this movie. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll let you all do your own research on that. I'm not here to smear this guy's name or anything, but it was just kind of interesting to me that they went through all of the trouble of like concocting this backstory of he was bird watching and then he got in a plane crash and then he got his head bit off by a shark. I mean, that part was kind of comical that, you know, they kept making everything that happened to this guy worse than the last thing. But it was also kind of like they did this like kind of claymation thing to show his death. And I'm like, but don't you have to like compensate him for that, for using his likeness? So he's kind of in the movie anyway. He's getting paid for it. Like if you didn't want him to like, you know, benefit from this movie, I feel like he is anyway. So like, why, if you were going to do that, why don't you just have him be in the movie? Like, I don't know. I don't understand why they did that.
I guess we'll have to ask.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but, that was one of the things I thought was kind of weird about it. But overall, pretty good. I would recommend checking it out. I don't know if it's still in the theater now.
I think it might be.
It might still be in the theater. I'm sure it'll be coming to digital soon.
It is on digital.
It might already be on digital.
You can rent it.
Okay,
for like $20.
Yeah. So you know, if you want to do that, you know, or give it like, I don't know, a few weeks, that price will probably come down. Yes. But anyway,
I'm sure after Halloween it'll come.
Sure, yeah. Then everybody will be in Christmas mode, including us.
Yes. No. Excuse me. We have a very, very specific mode that we are going to be in a few short weeks. Friends, that is Wicked. Get ready. Get ready.
Yes. Wicked on the big screen.
Here we go.
It's going to happen.
I've been waiting 20 years for this.
Oh my God.
So excited. You know what's really annoying? I'm just going to say this. This has absolutely nothing to do with the movie or anything that we've been watching. But so I am a Stanley Cup girl, and Target does exclusive Stanley Cups. Well, of course they have an exclusive collection for Wicked that dropped today. And you could purchase it online at 3 a.m. or you could go into the store and see what they had available when the store opened
That's such a random time. Like, why are they releasing these things at 3 a.m.?
I have no idea. But I forgot to wake up at 3 a.m. And by the time I woke up this
maybe
morning...
Maybe because it's like Pacific time, it's midnight.
Oh, maybe.
I guess.
Maybe.
But
that could be why. By the time I woke up this morning, none were available for shipping, and it said that they were out of stock in Gainesville. And even one of my kind, dear friends went to the store to check for me, and they're not available. And it's like, you know that this is going to be a popular product. Every single time Stanley releases something at Target, it's sold out immediately. And like something like Wicked that people have been waiting for 20 freaking years, just make more of the damn cup. If I'm willing to spend $55 per cup and there's 2 of them that I'm going to buy, that's over $100 of revenue for you.
Yeah.
Just make more of the damn cup.
Seems like it's totally worth it too. $100 for 2 cups.
Anyway,
what a deal.
It is worth it.
They're magic cups. One of them's a good witch.
Anyway,
and one of them's
Stanley,
bad.
if you hear me, my heart is broken and I really want both cups.
And also, Stanley, if you're listening, why don't you make one that looks like the Stanley Cup from the NHL? It's a very obvious tie-in, and I'm very upset that you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, do that too. All right, friends. Well, we have enjoyed catching up and talking about a terrible movie and a not so terrible movie and all the other things in between. Please let us know what movies you would like us to review next. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you would like to add to the conversation, check us out on our social media channels.
At Life in Pics Pod, everywhere except Facebook. Life in Pictures Podcast on Facebook. And you can check us out, wherever you're listening to this podcast. Please like and leave a review. Hopefully it's a good review, but if you feel like we aren't as good as you want us to be, just tell the truth. We hope you like it, but if you don't,
we're awesome.
That's fine too.
Okay.
Just, write what you want to write.
Write what you want to write. That's right. Whatever your little heart desires. And with that, thank you so much for your listenership, for your viewership, for whatever your ship is. And yeah.
Till next time, enjoy the show.